So, good night or good morning, depending on where you are, and welcome to another interview of the Shield Dude in the Couch. Tonight, I'm joined by Mark, and Mark, he's the singer, bass player of Clifford Hoyt. And how can I describe the band? It's really hard to describe the sound. There's like so many. There's like noises. There's like I don't know if it's grindcore, but there's like different elements. But it's really interesting. So, Mark, first of all, good night. How are you, sir?
I'm doing good, thank you. Um, so Clifford Hoyt, it's pretty much just like a screamo band. That's what it started as. I just wanted to do a screamo band. It initially started as me wanting to do a slowcore project, but it kind of changed a lot. um, Now I would just call it probably screamo.
Yeah, there's been so many different genres since I've been getting into metal that sometimes it's hard to keep up.
Yeah, I mean, if we're speaking technically, I guess it's a little sassy. Some hardcore elements, post-hardcore.
Yeah, no, it's really something. And we were talking offline. I was Googling Clifford Hoyt because I didn't know about the story. And so, for those that don't know, Clifford Hoyt is the story of a man. I think it was 20 years ago.
Yeah,
Uh,
it was a while ago,
yeah,
apparently.
that he lived in Maryland, and he had a car accident, but he was escaped. But he went in and out of mental hospitals because he claimed that he was like possessed by demons and he lived in hell. And he used to play like music in his apartment and he would stay there. And where I was just reading and looking at the video of the story, the landlord found him and he was like on the street, no, on the floor of the room, hugging a big chunk of ice and with excrement all around, like really, really sick, demented thing. So I was like, yeah, that's truly fucked up. So I was like, I wonder if they're from Maryland, but no, you're from Iowa.
Yeah,
So
I just I stumbled upon the photo, and it was just like a back shot. It wasn't the main photo of Clifford Hoyt that we used for our logo where he's hugging the ice block. It was just like a photo behind him. It was a meme and it said in the stew. And I thought it was the funniest shit, and I was like, I want to see what this photo's from because it looks super weird. And I did some research and I found out that it was Clifford Hoyt, and I was like, that'd be a really cool name for a band, especially a screamo band. Because I don't know if you're into screamo. There's this one band, Neil Perry. So the name is kind of based off of them having a band named after a person.
yeah, I like different type of stuff. I must tell you that it's not something that I hear all the time, but yes, I was listening. I listened to your songs on the split EP that you have with some other bands, including Serling that I had on the channel, and it's quite chaotic. So I want to show the picture of the first tape that you put out, which is called the Cemetery tape. So here you have Clifford. I'm looking at the artwork, and I can tell that's Clifford, like in his
Yeah,
house,
that's
naked,
actually
doing
that's the
the.
back shot that I was talking about. That's the first photo I ever saw of Clifford Hoyt, and that kind of made me go down the rabbit hole and see the creepy pasta and all that stuff.
Yeah, no, it's some creepy shit. So this demo tape that is a cemetery tape. Talk to me a little bit about it. Did
Yeah,
you record in the cemetery?
so all the vocals were recorded in a cemetery except for the song "The Chandelier Falls." My friend Chandler recorded that for us, so thank you, Chandler. Shout out. Um, but I recorded all the other vocals for every song in this cemetery that is actually on the album art. It's like 30 to 40 minutes away, and it's like super empty. Nobody is ever there. It's like really unmaintained road, but
you
it's
know,
a
it's
beautiful place.
when I think let's record a song, I think let's go to the cemetery. So did you do it in the daytime or at nighttime?
Usually when I got off work, so like 5 to sunset. I've been there at night though. The first time I went there was at night, and I was like, this is like a perfect spot where nobody could bother me. And I live in an apartment, so it's impossible to record vocals here. So this is kind of just like out in the middle of nowhere. I can sit in my car and record it on my laptop. I use this microphone out there with my Dickies sock pop filter.
Yeah, I have like a mini mic that I use when I do like the album reviews, but I use a different one for the interview. So yeah, I find it bizarre that you recorded. So you recorded only the vocals there, right?
Yeah, just the vocals because I had nowhere else to scream.
And a lot of I was listening to the EP. A lot of the vocals are like really screamy, like yeah, and you're like, I'm glad no one was there because they could
Yeah.
have called the cops on you.
Yeah,
Like,
there's a video when my old car broke down. I tried to record vocals in my apartment parking lot, and I had my roommate record just to see how loud it was, and it was so loud I couldn't do it. It sounded like somebody was being murdered outside. It was bad.
so yeah, I think I've heard of people doing some recordings, but yeah, going to the actual cemetery, I hope they don't do a Conjuring movie about you, my friend.
No, we aren't doing any of that stuff
I'm
out
like,
there. It's
Conjuring
purely
movie,
gimmick.
the
Yeah.
Clifford Hoyt band story. I'm like, oh, I talked to that guy.
Yeah. No, we aren't doing any of that. I did find a deer skull out there once that I actually it's on display in my living room right now. It's pretty cool.
You found a what?
A deer skull because it's
Oh,
like
a
super
deer.
abandoned. Nobody goes out there, and I guess stuff dies and just gets left alone.
Yeah. So yeah, and the songs on that EP, some of the song titles are hilarious. Like there's one called like "Not Every Girl Brings You Lasagna."
Yeah,
Uh,
that's a Clerks reference. Have you ever seen the movie
I,
Clerks?
I I saw it like years ago, so I can't there's a lot of people that love that movie. I don't remember seeing that movie. I remember more like the Jay and Silent Bob movie.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But
Same.
yeah, so
Same
that's
David.
yeah, and the mall rats and all of that.
Yep.
So you have that, and there's another one that has like a super long fucking title. I'm trying to remember the title right now. I'm gonna go get it, but I'm like, yeah, that's a super long title for a song, and most of the songs are like 2 to 3 minutes long. They're not super long songs.
Yeah.
I'm the only one who fucking cares. And what's the other thing? And
I'm the only one who fucking cares, and you
yeah,
don't even notice, or
and
something
you don't
along
even
those
notice.
lines.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. When I was listening to music and looking at the title, I'm like, this sounds very emo. The title,
Oh yeah. Yep.
and
Yeah, it's
you
super
got
emo.
that My Chemical Romance looking like look to yourself like
Thank you.
yes. Now you need I know they're doing that comeback tour,
Yeah, I
uh,
saw that.
but it's super expensive and I heard the new song. It was okay. So you put out that cassette tape like last year. Did you do it with Been There, Seen That Records?
No, so that was done through Illuminate My Heart. The
Mhm.
initial release, we did CDs for it, and that was all independent. I just did that myself. I actually stamped every one of them with my little stamper that I made, and so yeah, that was independent. And then Illuminate My Heart reached out to me, and they were like, "We want to do vinyl of this." So I was like, "Hell yes, that's sick." So shout out to Matt. He helped out a lot with that.
Nice. So where can people are there still like vinyl copies left or CDs?
Yeah, there's still some of it's not really vinyl, it's I believe acrylic. I'm not sure. It's like a clear square disc. It's really cool. That's on sale on Illuminate My Heart's website. And then we actually have some split AM CDs on sale on our Bandcamp. There's like
Mhm.
9 of them left, I think. So
So you got that cassette demo that you did. Are you like working on like a full length right now or new music?
we have a few demos. We're either making a long EP or a short album.
Sure.
Whatever comes out better.
Nice. And are you gonna recording the cemetery again or?
So I got a new car and it can't make it down to the cemetery, so it's kind of a huge bummer. My old car was a big, ugly Buick van, and it could
Mm.
go four-wheel drive down, but now I'm in a Chevy Malibu, so it's way too low to the ground. But I found a new cemetery, funny enough. It's pretty empty in the middle of nowhere. We're in Iowa, so it's super easy to find country areas that nobody goes to record out in my car. Because all
Yeah.
of the split was recorded in a hospital parking lot. Like at 3 in the morning when they were closed.
Oh my God, yeah, the split. So, uh, when you were doing the cemetery tapes, nothing weird or supernatural happened.
No, I don't know. People always think that like it's a freaky place. It's not. It's nobody's gonna bother
Well,
you there, you know?
you have to fear more the living than the dead.
Yeah, yeah, I don't know. It just doesn't really freak me out. If anything, I feel calm.
Yeah. The most beautiful cemetery that I've been to was actually in France, where Jim Morrison is buried.
Oh.
Uh, I can't remember the name of the cemetery. It has a famous name, but it's in Paris. And not only Jim Morrison, there's a lot of like famous people, like Chopin is buried there. There's other like painters buried there. So yeah, and it has like very nice sculptures. So it's like you're in a cemetery, but it's like a museum. And obviously the
That's
Jim
cool.
Morrison part, it's full, people leave like the Doors CDs, and it's
Mm.
the most unimpressive one. You find out because you see all the door stuff, but it's only a normal. I forgot the name of the stone. It's a normal one. There's
Tombstone.
nothing fancy. Yeah, there's nothing fancy about the Jim Morrison one, but people go there. I took a picture, obviously, because it's Jim Morrison, so I took a picture. But yeah, that's like the only time I went to a cemetery like for fun, because
Really?
yeah, because I had to see where Jim Morrison was buried. But yeah, it depends on, I think it's more the movies where they put it like where it's like more
Yeah,
like,
I mean, I used
looking.
to be terrified of that. When I was a little kid, my grandma used to live down the street from a cemetery, and I used to be scared just staying the night at her house. And it was down the street, but I don't know, I just like lost my fear. We started going to cemeteries at night just for like fun to freak us out, but it didn't really freak me out. And I realized it's a really quiet place that I could record stuff
Yeah.
at. So
So I've learned something about Iowa today. There's not a lot of stuff to do in Iowa.
no, not much at all, especially in our town, Dubuque.
Yeah, yeah, no, yeah, because yeah, I grew up in Puerto Rico, and like, yeah, no,
Mm.
we didn't hang out in in cemeteries. We hang out at the beach and
Oh, yeah, you had cool
and
places.
and stuff like that growing up, and places. But yeah, it's interesting. So I want to show how did you get on the split that you did for being there, seeing that?
So I just reached out to Hopscotch Battle Scars, one of the bands on the split. That's how I got in contact with everybody. And they were like, oh, yeah, we were thinking about doing a split with a few other people. And then we got Serlane and Kilprez on.
Yeah, yeah. I love the artwork for the split CD, and I
Yeah,
heard Kill Press and Hopscotch Battle Scars. That's a great name,
I know, I love it.
and it's really cool. And I also talked to the guy that runs this record label. I think it's really cool, the idea of what he's doing, like bringing that MySpace music into physical format. I thought it was like something very creative, and
Yeah.
so it's cool, because obviously this you have to get out of your way to listen to like underground music and bands out there, because there's so many stuff out there. So you growing up,
Mhm.
what were your favorite bands?
Um, when I was a little kid, if you asked me, I would probably say Blink 182.
I
I was
love Blink 182
yeah.
still to this day. Yeah.
I was really into pop punk as a little kid. And then Coheed and Cambria was a huge one. My dad always played them in the car.
Oh, I love Coheed and Cambria, and they're
Yeah,
putting
they're
out
one
an
of my
album this
favorites.
week.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I've seen them twice live, and
Really, I've seen them a
yeah,
few times as
they're
well.
they're great, and
Mm-hmm.
they're very unique, because especially Claudio's voice. So yeah, you can go
Yes.
go wrong with them. So yeah, it seems like you're very varied in musical taste. And so growing up, you like those type of bands. Then like like more recently, like what did you get? What more got you more
So,
into the heavier side of things?
so I mean, I guess I'll go to So emo. So my transition from pop punk to emo too
Mhm.
was also my second cousin Daniel. He got me into so many good emo bands because I'm originally from like outside of Bethlehem, Pennsylvania.
Mhm.
So there's a huge Midwest emo scene there. So I got into like Snowing, Sprainerd, Iron Chic, really good bands. So that like shaped the emo side, and then for like the screamo stuff, that was when I moved to Iowa. I got into that mostly from Rate Your Music.
Mhm.
Have you ever heard of that website?
No, I haven't.
Oh, it's just a website where people can rate music, and it's all like listed under genres. So if you find a genre you like, you can like find all of the top albums, and then like really underground stuff too. Um,
Nice.
so that's how I found a lot of screamo bands, and it started with Orchid because my roommate showed me Orchid, which is like a super basic band to start with for screamo, but love them. That's and pretty much Clifford Hoyt started as like an Orchid worship band in the start. So
Yeah, yeah. If it's something you love, you love it. It doesn't matter. Yeah, I grew up more in the 80s to 90s, so I'm like super into the 90s stuff.
sure, yeah.
But yeah, I've kept on listening to newer stuff, and there's so many great things out there if you look for it. So you guys are now recording for a demo that you may have some other music. Would that music like see the light of day like more for next year?
Yeah, probably at the end of this year or next
Yeah.
year. Alex's computer just took a crap on him too. So
Oh, damn
that's our
computers.
mixing computer. So we have to get that fixed. But I have lots of demos on my Mac. It just,
Yeah.
I am terrible at mastering and mixing. So I'm going to leave
No,
that to him once he gets
I
himself
don't.
up and
I
running.
I don't know how to do that. So, uh, do you uh, do you have times at some time like to play these songs live? How would that? How would you guys do that?
So we haven't played a live show. We don't have a drummer, and
Damn
we only
drummers.
have yeah, and we only have one guitarist, and it would be ideal to have two. And I can play bass and scream, but yeah, we just need to find a drummer for live shows.
That's something I've talked to a few metal bands, and I talked to one from Tampa a few months ago, and they were missing a drummer too. It's like very hard to get drummers.
Yeah, and I play drums. I can't play double bass. I actually started playing on drums, and I just picked up bass so I could write songs for this. Um, but it's so hard to scream and play drums. Like, shout out to Wyatt from Hopscotch Battle Scars. That dude's insane. He can scream and play drums like a mad person.
Oh, I think it's
Super talented.
every time any drummer that sings at the same time, even if it's not, I think it's hard as fuck, because uh, it's the drums are so demanding as a instrument, like it's so physical. You're moving everything, and like remember lyrics and screaming. I would forget everything.
Yeah.
So so what would be like if you had to mention like what would be something that people would be surprised that you like to listen to, or a hobby that you have that might be surprising?
um, I mean, I like emo rap, I guess. That's
There's
kind of a
emo
guilty
there
pleasure.
there's emo rap.
Oh yeah.
Oh my god,
Yeah.
I'm so old that I'm like who
It's
who sings?
basically just like it's singing over trap beats. That's all it is. I mean, it's like pop
Oh
punk mixed with like trap. Like, have you ever heard of Lil Peep
yeah,
or
I'm
Young
so
Peep?
glad that you didn't say Bad Bunny.
Oh no, it's not like Bad Bunny. It's completely different.
I'm from Puerto Rico, and
Oh,
and
he
so
plays out a lot out there.
yeah. Well, I live in Miami, but it's funny because a few years ago, no one knew who he was. He was actually a bagger in a supermarket, like
Really?
in 2018, and now he's like number one in Spotify. Like, and I'm not a fan of his music, but it's incredible. He's in a movie with Brad Pitt now.
Yeah.
I'm like, fuck.
Yeah, my
Like,
coworkers like him. I know that.
Oh
And
yeah,
I've heard of him too from that's another
yeah.
kind of
I
this
call it
isn't really a
mumble.
guilty
I call
pleasure,
it
but
mumble rap because you,
mumble rap.
yeah, because you
Yeah.
can, you're like, "Whoa," you can actually know what he's saying. Me growing up in Puerto Rico, I've listened to reggaeton and all that music growing up all the time. They like if like you would go to Puerto Rico, there's a car, there's that music plays everywhere. So uh, even though I don't like it, I know it because there's no way to escape it down there. But yeah, it's so I didn't know about the emo rap though. That's a new thing for me. But yeah, I
Yeah.
think it's interesting. So yeah, so but do you like the emo rap then?
Yeah, another genre that I love, hyperpop. Um, I love Charlie XCX. She's the best. Um, so I guess that's kind of some weird stuff. For hobbies, I love movies.
Really,
Um,
what type of movies you like?
I love horror movies. Got
Oh,
Carrie White behind me.
the original Carrie. Yeah, yeah. I would
Yeah,
I would assume you like horror with the name that you chose and the type of music that you play. It's like you were if you would have told me like I love romantic comedies, I would be like, fuck, shut the
I
fuck up.
do though. I do.
You are a contradiction, my friend. Like you're yes, the horror and the emo and
I
everything mixed
appreciate
together.
everything, dude.
Yeah, no, that's good. That you are definitely like breaking barriers in that way. So, what's your favorite horror movie? Is it Carrie?
That's one of them. That's a great movie. Cannibal Holocaust, so good.
I haven't seen
That
that one.
one's really controversial. It's pretty messed up.
It
I
sounds
definitely
messed
don't.
up.
Yeah, people think it's like a zombie movie, or yeah, like a zombie movie, but it's not. It's like the first found footage movie ever. It's really good. They just did some terrible things like killing animals while filming it, and I don't like that. I'm actually vegetarian, but I love that movie. Great movie.
Yeah, it
um,
sounds like yeah. I remember when in the 1999 when the Blair Witch came out and
I just watched
everyone
that the
was
other
like
day.
everyone was like, oh, it's real. It happened to him. I'm like, don't be stupid. It's not real.
They did the same type of shtick with
Yeah,
Cannibal
but
Holocaust. They took
but
all the
people
characters'
thought
hide out for
for
it.
months that it was real. Like
Oh
they
yeah.
found this footage. I'm like, come on, like don't be so
My
stupid.
dad told me he thought it was real when it first came out, and they even
Yeah,
made a website, and it looked so legit. It
I
looks
must admit to you, I saw that in the movie theater.
really
When it ended, I got up and I asked for my fucking money back.
no.
I'm like, this movie is terrible.
Oh, I
The
love
shake,
it, dude.
the mucus coming out. It was. Uh, I wasn't a huge fan of it, but I must admit it was different. And after that, everyone wanted to do the shaky cam and the found footage thing, and it's being beaten to death. But hey, it was original when they did it. So
Yeah,
yeah,
and I mean, some people have still done it well. Found footage is like one of my favorite subgenres. Like August Underground, I feel like they did it really well. That movie is terrible and disgusting, but it's really good. Um, there's what's another? Poughkeepsie Tapes. That one is
mhm.
great. I love that movie.
What's
I
that
love
one
found
about?
footage. It like documents a serial killer, so it's all being filmed by the serial killer first person, and
Okay, so
it shows like the woman that he's torturing. It's pretty sadistic and
yeah,
terrible, but
I won't watch it when my kids are up.
yeah, yeah,
I'll leave them with the Disney Plus, so they're safe.
for sure, yes.
But yeah, so like I'm wondering, since you love all that stuff, will you incorporate your love of movies and horror to the sound of Clifford Hoyt?
Yeah, for sure. Just for horror, like the song "The Chandelier Falls," that's based off of Phantom of the Opera.
I know that one.
Yeah.
I think everyone knows
um,
that one.
yeah, and then I mean everything else is just helps me with writing lyrics and stuff. Grotesque lyrics, because I'm not really that mean of a person, I guess, but
No, you
I
don't
watch
sound
them.
mean at all. You sound
No.
like the sweetest like dude ever. So since you know what would be awesome if you do an album, since you love romantic comedies and horror, how about a split album where half of the songs are horror based and the other half are romantic comedy based?
It's that's see, it's kind of that's what we did like on the demo. I feel like
Yeah, because yeah,
like
you have
yeah, like three of the songs are kind of horror-y, and then two of them are kind of sappy. I mean, one of them samples Clerks, which is kind of like a rom-com.
yeah, like yeah, it's more guy comedy. I don't think girls will say that that's a romantic
Yeah.
comedy,
And then at
but
the end of I'm the Only One Who Fucking Cares, there's a sample from I forget the name of the movie. Oh shit, I'm gonna sound like such a poser.
is it one of
It's
uh,
a rom-com.
oh no, okay. I used to love a movie about. Have you ever seen Chasing Amy? That was a good
Oh,
one.
I love that. That's Kevin Smith. That's the same guy who did
Yeah,
Clerks.
yeah, I know. I remember that one a lot. That movie was so good.
That's an
And
amazing movie,
it
yes.
starts like Ben Affleck when he wasn't famous,
Yep.
and yeah, that I think that was one of my favorites of the because that one's like it's more like it's a comedy, but it has romantic, but it's not cheesy.
Mm-hmm.
So plus it
It's
had
funny
comics in
still.
it, so I thought it was cool.
Yeah, I love that movie so much.
Yeah. So Mark, I've learned a lot today about Iowa, uh, horror movies, and new musical genres. So this has been enlightening me for me as well. So people, if you wanna listen to Clifford Hoyt, they're on the streaming services. You can get. I'll post the link for people who want to get like the CD.
Yeah.
If
You
you
could
still have,
honestly, you could just put cliffordhoyt.com and it should take them to our link tree.
I'll put
So,
cliffordhoyt.com, yeah, so people can go and check it out. And it's really it's really interesting. It's for if you love Screamo and horror movies with romantic comedies, this is the band for you.
yeah. And before we go to, I just wanted to say thank you so much to Alex and Austin for helping me with everything and recording guitar and everything because they're the best.
Yeah, no, it's good. I wish they would have been in the interview too, so we could have met them.
Yeah, I
But
know.
but yeah, no. So Mark, thank you for taking time to talk
Yeah,
with me,
thank you.
and it's it was interesting. I love talking not just about the music, but about what makes the musician tick.
Yeah.
That's what like that's how where you go deep. So Clifford Hoyt, check out the the album that they have, the demo EP, plus they have that split with the other bands you can check out. They have like I think two songs there, so you
Yep.
could check that out as well. And they're on the streaming services. So if you like what you hear, support underground independent music. So Mark, again, thank you for taking time. And
Yeah, thank
until
you so
next
much.
time, this is Hector, the shield dude in the couch, and I'll see you right here on the couch. Thank you and good night.